Check, 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 check. There we go. Perfect. Always good when it works. But anyway, welcome back to Broke Boys Tier 2, and it's time for the season finale at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. And it's raining heavily already in qualifying, but it's the championship decider of this season. We've got two championship protagonists. Jesus is leading the championship by 11 points over 10th Cannon. 10th Cannon has won the last two races, so it's all to play for tonight. And it's going to be an epic season finale. And we'll have a champion crowned at the end of the night. Besides the Drivers' Championship, we've also got the Constructors to focus on. Mercedes leads the championship by just 2 points over Sauber. So it's really all to play for tonight. And it's going to be an intense race for sure. We wait for the qualifying to kick off, but full wet it seems for qualifying at least. Not sure about the race weather-wise. We'll find out later, but there we go. Qualifying has kicked off. We've got Ballo Boton in the other Sauber to represent the team, and Ziemiak is there to support his teammate and bring home good points for Mercedes to try and win the Constructors' Championship. And Ziemiak always strong. Has not been the most lucky this season, but he certainly has got the pace. Full wet it is indeed. So are we going to see drivers go for wet weather setups rather than dry setups? Like I said, not sure what the weather is going to be like in the race. We'll have to find out. And the first car is going out on track, and it is none other than Primus Storm and 40 Copper. Primus Storm out in these treacherous conditions, like we have seen Spa before in real life. 2021, for example. That race got cancelled, unfortunately. This race certainly will not get cancelled. And we're gonna have a very nice title decider on our hands. Ziemiak aggressively trying to warm up the tires, although tire temperature is not that important in the wet, because the tires can only go up to around 70 degrees from the tire blankets in the garage, and that's about the tire temperature you want to have out on track for full wet. So weaving is not really necessary on these tires, but it's always good to have a little bit of temperature in the tires regardless. Come on, McLaren, getting the support from not other than Unison, who could unfortunately not make the night. McLaren ranked 9th in the championship, 7 points clear of Aston Martin, 11 points behind Haas. And they've got Murky and Chetty for tonight's race. But Primus Storm is going to be the first one to set a lap time, or is he? He's going back into the pit lane. So not quite. Forty Copper is attempting to go for a push lap. Let's ride on board with the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls Formula 1 team. Who announced Daniel Ricciardo's departure earlier this evening. And Liam Lawson as their main driver, but that's completely something else. Let's focus on this race. Forty Copper struggling to go through Eau Rouge and Radion. It's very difficult in these conditions. Some of us have to work, of course. Need to get that income. Very important. Sliding around, but managing to keep it on the track so far, which is always a good thing for your banker lap. Jesus out on track as well, our championship leader. And the one who was chasing him, Tent Cannon, about to start her first flying lap on the intermediates, so not on full wets. She's not the only one. Bardi is on it as well. Pry has pitted for Inters. Scorder, Skullkiller, and the two Red Bull drivers are all on intermediates. The rest of them all on the full wets. But Skullkiller still in carriage. Well, he's not. He's going out just now. For the Copper across the line, the first lap time on the board is a 2:06.99, so not quite beneath the 2-minute mark. But Scorter very much goes beneath the 2-minute mark with a 1:57.4 out of Bello Boton in P2. A couple of tenths behind in P3. Rice Star in the Williams Stink making his debut tonight. At least haven't seen them before. Goes into the 1:59s right behind Soul Demon, who's gone up into P3. The lap time slowly getting on to the board. Mahmoud is on the intermediates. Let's see what they can do. Let's actually keep track of the intermediates. So Scorder is on provisional pole position with intermediates. So are intermediates the fast tire at the moment? Not quite sure. Could be very equal at the moment. Simniak across the line. Or he has gone up into P2. Sapphire Reese P5. Josh Bushman up into 7th. Let's take a look at Tent Cannon around the final bus stop chicane. Across the line for a first lap time and 1:55.9, and that's one out of a banker lap, 1.5 seconds clear of anyone. A statement has been made, and it looks as if the intermediates are probably gonna be the fastest tire from this point onwards. Jesus still out there on the full wets. It's not quite gonna be in the same ballpark, but 1:58 P7 that is, but I'm sure it can go quite a lot faster, especially on intermediates. Wardy then, multiple race winner this season so far. What can he do across the line? 1:57.3, and at the moment nobody can come even close to Tent Cannon's time. 57.3 as well for Jordan, but that's still 1.4 seconds behind the driver second in the championship. Pry then into the bus stop. Went out early on the wets and came back straight in to fit a set of intermediates across the line, and he goes to the top with a 1:55.2, and that's 7.5 tenths clear of Tent Cannon. which shows the track evolution and the fact that intermediates are very much so the quicker tire. Skoker then could finish the Drivers' Championship in P5 if he gets a good result today. Up to P3 he goes for his first lap. Just a good effort. It looks like the rain is so much lighter already. I wonder if it's going to go dry at the end. Nine minutes remain. About half the field has set a lap time on intermediates, and the other half on full wets. Big power slide from Murky out of Blanchimont. Gonna be the first McLaren to set a lap time. His teammate Chetty still in pit lane. Cross line into the top 10. Bry was on an improvement, but has invalidated. So is he going to try again? He's going to pull back into pit lane. Mahmoud has gone up to P4. Into the 156s. Bordy with a very good first sector, half a second up already. Though he is 2 seconds behind the front, but he can find loads more time in the middle part of the lap. So we see Skorder already fitting the slicks. That's no, way too early. It's still very much raining as Wardy goes a little bit wide in Pouhon, but he doesn't invalidate his time, so didn't gain time with that. Oh, another big slide, struggling, but he is 1.5 seconds up at the moment. Could get him onto the front row if he finishes his lap. Down into the bus stop chicane. Across the line, is it good enough for Bristol pole position? Not quite, 56,000th of a second, but it is good enough for the front row at the moment. Wardy up into P2. See his teammate Skoker on improvement as well. 3.5 tenths up through the first sector. Having a good qualifying so far, Skoker. Bry across the line, 52.9. That's quite a lap, 2.5 seconds clear of Wardy. Lofty Pickle now up into P2 as well. The times are just going to continue to drop every second, every minute. Just need to get that lap in at the end of the session for to copper up at the P3. Skoker now crossing the line. He will go up into the front row as well. 54.0. Then we've got Zimniak on a 3 second improvement. Across the line he goes onto the front row now, into the 53s. And that is Haza now into P5 as well. Then we look at the Sauber of Balo Botan. Knows he can fight for the Constructors' Championship tonight. And on to the front row he goes. The to McLaren's. Mercury has invalidated Chetty, the only one yet to set a lap time, but he's going straight back into the pit lane. Just with 4.5 minutes to go. Still out in P20 without a lap time set, although I'm pretty sure that he has a qualifying ban. Let's check it out. He has, so well, that explains why he has not set a lap time. Vardy on 3 lap all tires, certainly impressive. Now when you look at the gap again, it's 2.2 seconds, so doesn't really matter until the end of the session. Anyone on an improvement? Jordan is trying to improve, but he wasn't up on his time through the first sector. Let's see if he can improve through the middle part of the lap. Still very much raining, so I don't think we're going to go to slicks. Rystar then on the lap, 1.5 seconds up. At the moment down in P19. A couple of hundreds behind his teammate Josh Boschman. But 4.6 seconds up on his time. That shows the track evolution, the weather change. Two and a half minutes to go. Cars start going out for their final attempt. Rystar across the line, up into P4. Skoker has fitted the softs as well, but slicks aren't gonna be the tire you want to be on. Our championship leaders down in P12 and P18 at the moment. And Tolu is gonna be the first one to try set up. You usually don't want to be the first one in these conditions, but someone has to be the first one. He's going back into the pit lane, so Tolu his qualifying is over. He's gonna start P7 at best, but there are gonna be loads of improvements throughout the field. And now we look at Soul Demon down in P16. 1.5 minutes to go, and he is gonna be the first one to set a lap time. Tolu has retired from the session in the Alpine. Ooh, big slide through Radion and onto the Camel Straight. Trying to cool the tires a bit off the racing line. That's already 1.2 second improvement. Just need to be sure to keep it within the white lines, because this is the final lap, as Jordan has gone up to the front row with a 53.1. And can he do another lap, I wonder? Does he have the fuel and or ERS? Soldim absolutely sending it into Poon. The rear of the car stepping out. And 10th Cannon is on softs. She has gone for the gamble on slicks. Koker has done the same. But it still looks pretty wet out there, so is she gonna regret this choice in this championship fight? This could be absolutely crucial for the championship. She can't make it, she doesn't make it to the line. 10th Cannon is P14 on a day where she needs to be at the front. And B, Jesus, he's not going to start any higher than P14 on the grid. The flag has fallen. Jesus is down on P18, but he is on an improvement. This is absolutely massive for the championship. Soul Demon across the line. He's the first one to cross it. 52-1 on provisional pole position. We now look at Sapphire Reese. He is finished as well. Then it's the McLaren of Murky across the line, P2. Up next we've got Josh Boschman down in P19. Has retired as well. But why gamble for the slicks? Josh Boschman to the front. Josh Boschman on provisional pole position, 51.4. But who else is out there to challenge that time? Jesus across the line, P5, that is huge for his championship fight as Lofty Pickle to the top, 51.0. Primus Storm is on the lap, 1.5 seconds up on his time. Can he go for pole position across the line? He does. Primus Storm takes pole position unless Battle boat on Simniak to the top. Simniak has taken pole for Mercedes. Battle boat on up at the P4, 40 copper, the final one to cross the line, goes at the P10, but Simniak has secured pole position here at Spa. And that's very good for Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. But if we look at the Drivers' Championship, Jesus will start from P10, but Tent Cannon starts from P19 on the grid, dead last of the ones who set a lap time. Absolute crazy scenes for the season finale. Zimniak on pole, Pry in P2, Lofty Pickle, Battle Boat on Josh Boschman, Sol, Murky, Brystar, Scorder and Jesus rounding out the top 10 in what was a mental qualifying session. And this is going to be one hell of a race. Especially with our championship contenders all the way down the order. And Tent Cannon has to make up an 11-point gap in the championship. So he's going to have to hope for a miracle. Looks to be dry though for the race. With sunny skies out. Will we see some rain in the race as well though? At the moment, Jesus and Mercedes have the upper hand in both of the championships. And unfortunately someone has readied up early. And the question is, will we restart? We will restart, unfortunately, so gonna take a little bit more time before we get this race going. Sorry for the inconvenience, but it is a season finale, so don't want to have any trouble with that. So we'll take a few minutes and then we will get this season's finale going. I'm not sure what the weather was like. I'm gonna ask that in a moment time. Strict. Yep. Yes. Yes. All right. So hang in there while we sort this out. Dry till the last two icons. I don't know why I did enable the qualifying, by the way. Why did we only got? Since when do we only get two icons for? Oh, now we get more. Alright, I'll do this then. Clear. $15 drivers in, we have to wait for everyone before we can do the grid. Or does it make a difference if it's light, cloud or overcast? I'll do that. Nice, 18 drivers in already. Oh, I actually can start doing the grid probably already. Alright. Zimniak on pole. Pry in P2. Of the pickle P3. Boat on P4. Josh Bosman P5. Good quality, by the way. Soul Demon, there we have him. P6. Murky P7. Brystar P8. Is he in yet? I don't think he is. And then it's Scorder. And Jesus. And Jordan. And 40 copper. So only Rystar is the last one to join then. Skokeder. Mode. Tolu. Sapphire Race, Hasa, 40, Tent Cannon and Chetty. And we only wait for Rystar. Double check, just in case. If we are with 19, then this should be the grid. And go, Tent Cannon. She can certainly win the championship, but it's, well, saying it's a challenge is quite the understatement. P18 on the grid. And she needs to finish at least inside the top 5. If Jesus scores no points. And then they'll be level on points. I'm not sure if who is going to win it on countback. I think Tent Cannon has got more wins than Jesus. I'll check just in case it happens. It's a slim chance, but you never know. Anything can happen. Yeah, so Tent Cannon has got more wins, so if it is on countback, then she will win. But she needs to finish at least inside the top 5 and beat Jesus by 11 points or more in order to win the championship. "19 drivers it is then for the race. We've lost one, unfortunately, since the restart. But we are gonna try it with these 19 superstars. We will take a few minutes before readying up though. 5 to be exact. And now we have to wait. But that's alright. Wait for one last time this season. Oh. Now everyone on softs at the moment. "3 minutes or 2 minutes and a bit." So it's not gonna be a rare race. It should be raining at the end if the weather adjustments have come through. Yeah, let's hope we don't get a Spa 2012 race start. Or even worse, 1998 accident. So a bit more mediums towards the back of the field. Alright. Here we go then. This is it. The season finale for Tier 2 Season 10. It's 8:38 UK time, 9:38 local time. And we should be readying up around this time to get this race going and to find out who is going to be crowned Broke Boys Tier 2 Season 10 World Drivers Champion and Constructors Champions as well between Mercedes and Sauber. Jesus and Tent Cannon are going to find it out on track. Who will come out on top? Here we go then, the 5 red lights are on. Zimniak on pole position on the left, Pry on the right. The lights are out and we are on the way. Zimniak has got a good start. Pry's immediately under pressure already from Lofty Pickle into turn 1. Going on top of each other. Interesting. In the background we see one of the Ferraris going off. That's Skullkiller having a trouble at the start already. Lofty Pickle has gained a position up into P2. Now we go on to run onto the Camel Straight. Pry has got the slipstream of Zimniak and he's going to go for the double. Here comes Pry on the Camel Straight from P3. Has taken the lead going into Lecombe. And Pry takes the lead at the end of the first sector. Zimniak into P2. Lofty Pickle down to P3. Where we started, Balaboton has kept P4. Ahead of Murky, Jesus has made up a few positions since the start. Up to P6. He is Tent Cannon up into P15. P14, so both of our championship contenders have made up a couple of places at the start already. Let's take a look at the tires. So Pry out in front is on the mediums, then we've got a couple of drivers on the softs. And then Jesus on the mediums as well, as he's going wheel to wheel with Josh Boschman, trying to go a long way around the outside. Almost contact between the two. Soul Demon having a nice look of it. He's now having a go at Jesus as well. Going into sector 3, but Jesus is able to stay in front and he's made contact. Jesus has spun round. Jesus has spun round on the opening lap of this race. Our championship leader has spun around and he's all the way down into P18. Contact with Soul Demon as well, and this has blown the championship right open for Tent Cannon, who's now in P12. But an absolute dramatic opening lap to this race. What has gone on? And Jesus is all the way down in almost dead last. Absolute mental scenes at the beginning of this race. If we go into lap 2 of this race, Pry has got a 1.8 second lead to Lofty Pickle, who has got past Zimniak. Might play some DRS chicken, but Zimniak, well, it's going to be difficult for him to try and help his teammate. But remember, they're also fighting for the Constructors' Championship, and the Sauber of Balaboton is knocking on the door of Zimniak and is gonna try and have a go up the inside into Lecombe. but Zimniak much later on the brakes and is able to stay in front for the time being. Although trying to go the long way around the outside, not quite, as Zimniak shuts the door. Now Murky is almost having a look up the inside of Bruxelles. But they stay in position for now, as Pry has had a wonderful start to this race. Already a 3-second time penalty for Zimniak. That's not optimal for his fight in the championship with Sauber. And what's even more suboptimal is that Baloboton has just got the position and is up into P3. Zimniak going off as well, now under pressure from the McLaren of Murky, trying to go the long way around the outside. But the Mercedes drivers are already struggling in this opening phase of this race. Murky's had a moment and he's been passed by Forty Copper up to P5. Probably touched the inside curb, as we see almost moves being made into Blanchimont. McLaren going up the inside into the bus stop chicane. That's Murky. Oh, and he spun. He's hit the back of Zimniak. Does reset the track as well. That's not allowed. But he's hit the back of Zimniak. Spun around down at the P12, and that's not the way you want to overtake around here. Around anywhere, actually. Tent Cannon is a bit in traffic at the moment. P14 she still is, but the race is still very long and anything can happen. So you have to be patient, as Zimniak and Baloboton going wheel to wheel. And the Sauber went straight on Eau Rouge. And Murky is out of this race. We've got a virtual safety car. Has he retired in Radion? I think he has. Did he crash out, make contact with anyone? But he's went from P5 fighting for P4 to out of the race in a space of just a couple of corners in the sector. What is going on here? They all slowing down dramatically. But virtual safety car has been deployed, and we can take time to take a bit of a breath after that opening lap. Because what an opening lap that was. Oh, and a drive-through penalty for Lofty Pickle on the restart. That's the last thing he needed. That's gonna make life for Pry at the front even easier. He's got a 3-second advantage. Green flag racing though, we're back to full speed. Bit of contact going into Blanchimont. Also been between Forty Copper and might have been Zimniak, as Sapphire Reese having a go, gets hit from behind by Scorder as well. Lofty Pickle into the pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty. And he's going to drop down the order all the way down to probably what will be P18. Tent Cannon has made our way up into the top 10. And Jesus now in P15. She will close in 5 points, which is not quite enough. So far, 3-second penalty for Sapphire Reese. And he's going off in the background as well. Zimniak having a go at Baloboton, but is unable to get the job done. Tent Cannon up into P9. Another point, another position. As we see Jesus right at the back of Chetty, and actually under pressure from Soul Demon. What's happening at the front? Forty Copper and Scorter going wheel to wheel. Scorter up to P5. Forty Copper has lost out 2 positions as Sapphire's got past his Tent Cannon that gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Ooh, and that's gonna make her race even more difficult now. Well, we won't know if she's going to be able to get that removed, but a 3-second penalty this early on is going to make her target charge very, very difficult. Zimniak is 2 seconds behind Baloboton. What has happened there? Now under pressure from Sapphire as well. Having a go As 40 Copper up the inside of Skorter, contact between the two. Skorter has got front wing damage, as well as the front right end plate is missing on the Aston Martin. As Josh Boschman gets past as well into turn 1. Then Cannon up at the P8 gets past Tolu. A bit of a tank slapper on the exit though, and Tolu able to retake that position. And behind we see Wardy almost going wheel to wheel into Eau Rouge with Mahmoud. Sapphire up at the P3, has got past Simniak. And now Tolu and Skorter going wheel to wheel. Skorter has gone off track, struggling with the front wing damage. Now Tent Cannon having a go up the inside. Inside will turn into the outside for the next corner. Oh, a bit of contact. But she gets the job done. And is now up into P8. As her teammate in this race has got a 3-second time penalty as well. So, but so far Sauber is in front of Mercedes and on course to win the constructors at this stage of the race. But there's still 17 laps to go. It's a calm race at the front though, for Price leads by 6.5 seconds to Sapphire Race. 40 Copper has fallen back a little bit. Jordan has spun as well in the back of the field. Josh Bosman up to P5, and we've got Tolu wheel to wheel with 40 Copper. Bit of contact between the two. Skorter has pulled into the pit lane to probably replace that front wing. Forty Copper now under pressure from Tent Cannon. She's looking to try and get past, and she does so with the help of a bit of ERS. Now the DRS and up into P7. In the meantime, Jesus is going 3 wide with Haza and Skullkiller, and Jesus might get the double overtake, and he's up to P11. And that's a wonderful move for our championship leader. P11 means 5 points against Tent Cannon's 9 points at the moment. We'll still get Jesus the Drivers' Championship as it stands. Just needs to keep doing what he is doing. 3-second penalty now as well for 40 Copper. Not getting a penalty in this race is going to be crucial as well. That is also something Jesus will have to focus on, especially when his championship rival has got a 3-second penalty already. Another position lost for 40 Copper down to P10. Is struggling on these softs as they start to degrade. And he's pulled into the pit lane on lap 7. And onto the hards or mediums. Let's see. I would assume the hards for 15 laps. No, mediums for him, Chetty and Lofty Pickle. To try and make it to the end of the race. Simniak under pressure from Josh Bosman, having a look up the inside. Wheel to wheel, and Josh Bosman trying to hang it around the outside is Simniak, but he's unable to do so. The softs starting to fall underneath his Mercedes. And he's lost out another position down to P5 for the Mercedes driver. Almost 8 seconds is the gap at the front. Brian is absolutely flying on these mediums. unmatched at this moment. Sapphire in P2. He's got a bit of a gap to Ballo Boton, who's still on the softs. And is under pressure from Josh Boschman. Simniak losing out another position. Todo gets past. And I wouldn't be surprised if Simniak is going to pull back into the pit lane at the end of this lap, although he has got 10 Cannon behind, so he could try and help out his teammate. As the other Sauber of Ballo Boton is pulled into the pit lane. Jesus has made his way up into P8, getting some crucial positions in this race. And that P8 will turn into the P7 as he gets past Wardy, and that has put him directly behind his championship rival, who's trying to have a look around the outside of Simniak, but Simniak shutting door or actually going off track in the process. But is massively helping out his teammate. S10 Cannon is unable to get past. Now with the switchback, but onto the grass. And this will probably be highly frustrating for 10 Cannon. Losing out a lot of time. Captain Jesus down to 2.7 underneath the 3-second mark. As Simniak is doing absolute God's work for Jesus at the moment, holding up 10 Cannon. Now into the bus stop, she's going to try on the outside. That's probably not going to work out later on the brakes though. And the outside, contact between the two. And Jesus is now down to 1.2 seconds is the gap. And that's DRS chicken plate, but that has not paid out for 10 Cannon as Jesus gets past. And Jesus is now ahead of his championship rival, up into P6, 10 Cannon down to P7. As we see Todo and Josh Boschman fighting it out. Simniak, of course, letting his teammate past. 10 Cannon gets past now as well, a bit late on the brakes. But she finally gets past Simniak. But the damage has already been done, because she's now got Jesus ahead of her instead of behind her. And here we see our two championship contenders right behind each other, fighting it out on track with 13 laps to go in this race. Oh, big moment there for Jesus, almost losing the back end of the car and almost spinning out like he experienced on lap 1 of this race. 3-second penalty now for Josh Boschman, and Wardy is having a go at Simniak into the bus stop much later on the brakes and going round the outside, bit of contact, but he's not able to get the job done because he has a poor exit, losing the backhand, and Simniak stays in front on these 9-lap-old softs, and that's Wardy with a cent and a half into turn 1. Finally gets the job done. Now they're going 3 wide into what will be Eau Rouge, and hope some of them is gonna back out, and fortunately they do. Simniak stays in front. Who is going to have the DRS? Simniak does not have the DRS. Wardy has Soul Demon and has going 3 wide as a safety car has been deployed. Safety car deployed on lap 10 of this race. And I'm not sure what has happened. I think it's because of Skullkiller, as he's lost his front wing. So safety car is out. And that's our second neutralization in this race. And that's not so great news for the drivers who have started on mediums, because if you pull a bit onto the softs, you're not going to make it on the end. The softs are good for around 5 laps, and then they drop off. So they're going to have to go onto the hards, and Wardy, Zimniak and Haza again go onto the mediums. Also not great news for race leader Pry, who had a massive gap to the cars behind. And they're all pulling into the pit lane as expected. And Pry is going on to soft, so he is going to try and make that strategy work. Sapphire is going to hards, and I think that is the better choice. Just push on softs as well. Tolu onto hards. And what are our championship leaders going to do? Tent Cannon onto the hards as well. Jesus has gone onto softs. So 2 different strategies for our championship leaders. Ooh, and 40 Copper is now right in between Tent Cannon and Jesus. That's good news for Tent Cannon to have a car between herself and her championship rival. Oh, what has happened to Bello Boton then? He's gone off under the safety car. Has had some sort of incident. And now finds himself right ahead of his teammate. And is he gonna let Tent Cannon through? That's the question. Doesn't look like it for now. Halfway into this race, and 11 laps on softs is going to be very tricky. And personally, I don't think that it's the right call. Yesterday in TRX, we had a safety car as well very late into the race. I think it was around lap 15. Yeah, 15. And I went on the softs, but they dropped off so quickly towards the end. After 3 or 4 laps, they were just completely gone. And the mediums had the upper hand. So certainly going to be interesting to see for how long Pry can make these softs work. Safety car's not going in at this lap though. It will go in at the end of lap 12, meaning we will have a 10 lap shootout to the end. Ooh, actually, I completely forgot about the rain. And Lofty Pickle has gone on to intermediates. I completely forgot about the rain, so that changes the subject entirely, because if the rain is coming out in a few laps, and we all go into inters, then softs are the right choice. So far it's not raining yet, but it is very overcast. And Lofty Pickle has gone for the gamble. And he's pitted for intermediates. a bit too early for sure. But that does make this race very interesting. And it's going to be a gamble whether we are going to go into inters or not. Is it going to rain heavy enough for intermediates? Or could we go to the end on slicks despite the rain? A lot of uncertainties right now. But what is certain is that the safety car is going to go in at the end of this lap. 1, 2, 3. Safety car in this lap. Confirmation. And Pry is going to lead the way. Lead the field. As Haza is into the wall. Under the safety car. Has he got damage? I think he does not. Oh, running into the back of Jordan as they are going very slowly, and that's got him a 10-second time penalty. His day has gone from bad to worse to worst. And Pry has gone early. Green flag racing as we cross the finish line. And Tent Cannon has got past her teammate a bit too early then. And there we go then on to lap 13, 10 laps to the end. Pry leads ahead of Sapphire, Janice, Josh Bosman and Tolu. Followed by the two Saubers of Bello Boton. Ahead of Tent Cannon for now. 40 Copper P7, Jesus in P8 on the softs as well. Make that P7 as he gets past 40 Copper. And it's now put him directly behind his championship rival again. Big scrap here in the back end of the top 10. Sol trying to hang on to his P10. He's got Skorder, Zimniak, Skokuler all right behind. And Jesus has lost out of position. He's been re-overtaken by 40 Copper. Not sure what happened there. Also, not sure what the plans at Sauber are here at the moment. Because Bello Boton is not letting his teammate through. And Cannon with a big snap of oversteer as well. Touching the inside curb. Pry creating the gap already, 1.7 seconds ahead of Sapphire. Then it's Josh Bosman on the softs as well. Already having a go with the Haas. On the outside, switches to the inside, but stays behind for now. Oh, a bit of contact between 40 Copper and Jesus. He's still fighting it out with the Fika, was going off track, rejoining, more contact between the two. And now Wardy is having a look as well, going 3 wide into turn 1. Surely this is not going to go well. 40 Copper on the inside, a bit of contact again with Jesus. Wardy getting all loose on the exit, and 40 Copper stays in front. And he's not made friends with Jesus, it seems. As Wardy is having a go around the outside of Eau Rouge and is up into P7. Jesus having a go as that Soul Demon out of nowhere gets both of the positions up into P8. Jesus down to P9 as the race is going a bit downwards at this moment. In the meantime, Bello Boton is up to P4, he's got past Tolu on the hards. Who's now right ahead of Tent Cannon, Wardy P7, Soul P8, Jesus P9. And then it's 40 Copper down in P10. Going a little bit wide as well. Through Puon. But as it stands, it will be Jesus as the Drivers' Championship and Sauber as Constructors' Champions. with 8 laps to go. Rain still has not arrived, so the gamble hasn't paid off for Lofty Pickle. He's already 6 seconds behind Mammoth, who is 7 seconds behind Hasa, and it's got even worse for Lofty Pickle because he is spun going into the final sector. Forty Copper finds himself wheel to wheel with the other Mercedes, this time in Simniak. And Simniak gets past with a little bit of contact. And he's up into P11. And there we see Josh Bosman finally getting past Sapphire, and he's up into P2. Bit of a visual glitch with the Alpine around the side pods. And Lofty Pickle retires from the session. Unsurprisingly, gets a 10-second penalty for speeding a pit lane as well. The gamble has not paid off. And Jesus has got past Sol and is now back into the top 8. But for how long are these softs gonna hold on? The rain is still not out yet. So slowly but surely the mediums or hards are going to be the quicker tire. But I think it's raining now. It is raining. So are we going to see an intermediate period at the end of this race? 6 or 7 laps to go. And the rain is falling down onto the circuit. Pry leads by 2.5 seconds to Josh Bosman, who is under pressure from behind. Sapphire's there, then it's the trio of Balabotan, Tolu and Tent Cannon. And Tent Cannon is having a go at Tolu, but he is having a go at Balabotan, so... Ooh, that's very early on the brakes, and Tent Cannon up the inside. Will turn on the outside, but that's a very nice move from Tent Cannon, as Tolu brakes very early for Lecombe, and Tent Cannon waits no time and sends it up the inside, and is now up into P5. But with that 3-second time penalty, she will still finish in P6. So she will still need hope for a miracle to win the championship, as Jesus is also still in P8, doing a very good job under these circumstances. Yellow flags are out, and Forty Copper is facing backwards. He has gone off in sector 3. And keeping stationary. Sure wouldn't hope he's trying to cause a safety car as he gets it going again. Whoa, Josh Bosman has gone off at the exit of turn 1. Did he make contact with Sapphire? So he got sent straight off to the left and almost into the wall and into the gravel trap. And he's rejoined now in P7, right ahead of Jesus. Oh, almost 3 wide. Balabotan on the outside. Tent Cannon up into P3 with a double overtake. And that is crucial, because at this point, if we ignore the 3-second time penalty she has, she will score 16 points. Jesus in P8 will score 8 points. So it's an 8-point deficit at the moment, which still is in favor of Jesus, because he leads the championship by 11 points going into this race. But he is under pressure from behind. So the race And the championship is not over just yet. With 5 laps to go. The rain is falling, but it doesn't seem to appear to be intermediate conditions. Skulking around the outside up at the P11 as Skorder on his 11 lap old mediums is struggling at the moment. Jesus gets past Josh Boschman up into P7. And Josh Boschman has now got Saul on his inside, but is able to stay in front. Bit of contact in the background. Zimniak has gone off and Zimniak has spun around. And that's not great news for Mercedes in the constructors. Because Zimniak is all the way down to P15. And with Sauber in P3 and P5 at the moment, they will win the Constructors' Championship. Penalties, we've got Reese and Tent Cannon, both 3 seconds. Mello Bouton 3 seconds, Josh Wasman 3 seconds, everyone is 3 seconds except for Forty Copper and Hassan. Mello Bouton has retired from the session and that's a virtual safety car. What has gone on for the Sauber driver? He's gone off into the wall in these conditions. He spun it straight into the wall and that is an opportunity for Mercedes in the constructors, because as it stands Sauber will score 16 points if we ignore the time penalties, and Mercedes will score 12 points. So still Sauber is in the virtual championship lead after that by 2 points, but if Toto stays within 3 seconds and finishes ahead of Tent Cannon, then it will go in favor of Mercedes. But that is massive for the Constructors' Championship. After Bello Bouton's retirement on lap 18 of this race, 4.5 laps to go. Forty Copper gets a drive-through penalty as the virtual safety car ends. And we've now got 4 laps to go. As it stands, Tent Cannon will finish in P4 and Jesus in P6 will be good enough to secure him the Drivers' Championship. Oh, what's gone on the main straight? And Sol is facing sideways on the straight. Josh Boschman has gone off as well and he's got front wing damage. What has gone on in this race? Jesus is now comfortably in P6. He's got a 8.5 second margin to Haza. So if Jesus finishes in P6, Tent Cannon will need to win the race in order to be crowned champion. So Jesus can pretty much just drive it straight to the end of this race. At the moment he's got not much to worry about. Yellow flags around. This time it's Jordan has gone off. Facing the wrong direction. Almost getting stuck on the curb. Into the wall. Damage to the front wing. Absolute disaster. And that has promoted Zimniak into the top 10. So after all, Mercedes will probably win the Constructors' Championship as well. Besides the Drivers' Championship. Look at this, and at the front end, Pry is struggling on these softs. They're absolutely done with 3 laps to go. And Sapphire Reese is all over the back of the Alpine. Oh, on the braking, Pry almost losing it. Tent Cannon is lurking in the background as well. And she's creating a 2-second gap to Tolu. It's not done till it's done. there is still an opportunity. 3 laps to go. Bry leads, but here comes Sapphire Reese on the outside of Lecombe, and Sapphire Reese takes the lead on lap 20. Primer Storm down to P2. And now it's Tent Cannon's task to try and get past Bry. He's already right at the back of the Alpine. Jordan has retired from the session as well for DNS. So far in this race, look how much the Alpine is struggling. The rear end stepping out in every single corner. Oh, she almost losing the car herself. Now has the slipstream, using a bit of ERS. Choosing to stay behind for now. The gap to Tolu, 2.7 seconds. She's gonna stay behind for now as Bry is able to stay in front. On to the penultimate lap of this race. Sapphire Reese is comfortably in the lead by 1.5 seconds to Bry. Then it's Tent Cannon in P3. But she's not getting past so far. And this could hurt her championship chances as the DRS has been disabled. Usually that's the sign that the intermediates are quicker. Now on to the Camel Straight, and Tent Cannon on the outside gets past up into P2, although Bry is still there on the inside, but round the outside she goes, and she's into P2, but she's got the 3-second time penalty, which is hurting her. If she didn't get that penalty, she could have won this race, and that's a fact that looks to be very painful at this moment, as Forty Copper has been disqualified for ignoring a drive-through penalty. Well, how often do you see that? If Tent Cannon finishes this race in P2 as it stands, she will lose the championship by 1 point. Unless she's got the fastest lap, but she doesn't. You're gonna have to keep an eye out on that gap to Bry. It's currently 2.3, 2.4. She's got 1 lap to close the gap to Sapphire Reese and get past. Because she needs to win the race in order to secure the championship. Otherwise it will go to Jesus, who's still holding on in P6 on his softs. 1.3 seconds, 1.4 onto the final lap of this race, of the final race of the season. Sapphire is our race leader. And 1.5 seconds, I fear, is not going to be enough. She's got the margin to Bry and Tolu, so she will finish P2. The gap's down to 1.1, but as long as Sapphire Reese stays ahead, then Jesus will be the drivers' champion. It's all about this final lap. She started P18 in this race after a dreadful qualifying, made up her way in the race to P2, but at the moment it's not good enough. And it is good enough for this man. Jesus, our championship leader going into this race, is doing just enough to secure the championship. As he will lose out 10 points to an 11-point gap. 2 Alpines going at it. Tolu gets the position in the end. The gap's down to 8 tenths but there's not many opportunities left on this final lap. Sapphire Reese is gonna be the one who will cross the line first, who is gonna win this race. And Tent Cannon will be frustrated with her qualifying and the 3-second time penalty she got early on in this race. Around the final corner we come of this final lap. Sapphire Reese is gonna come across the line to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Tent Cannon will finish in P2, and now we wait for Jesus. He is now into the final couple of corners. He's got no pressure, just 2 corners to go around the final corner, and Jesus is gonna rise to the top, because Jesus is your Tier 2 Drivers Champion, crossing the line in P6, Champion of the World. It is Jesus for Mercedes. P6, good enough for him, as he loses out 10 points, and Tent Cannon losing the championship by just a singular point. In the end, Zimniak is finishing P10, and is that gonna be good enough for the constructors? Mercedes score 16 points, Sauber score 20 points. Sauber is constructors champions, hard constructors champions, but the championship has gone to Jesus. Despite the efforts of Tent Cannon, despite the setback on lap 1 when Jesus got spun around, he fought back to P6 and fought for the top of the standings. Your Tier 2 Drivers Champion is Jesus. What a performance after an incredible race, an incredible season it has been. And in the end, the top 2 in the championship are separated by 1 point. Look at this top 3 from P15, P18 and P14 on the grid to P1, 2 and 3 in the race. Sauber win the constructors by just 2 points after an astonishing comeback from Tent Cannon. Tolu and Alpine and Pry P3 and P4, Wardy P5 from P17, and Jesus in P6 after being last on lap 1. Didn't step a foot wrong. Incredible performance by both our championship contenders throughout the entire season. It's been a great championship fight. And to end it like this is, well, it's really a magnificent end to this championship, this season of Tier 2 Broke Boys. Well done to Jesus, well done to Mercedes, and well done to Sauber for winning the championships. And what a way to end this season. Season 10 has come to an end. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back next time. Season 11 will start probably in a few weeks' time. Maybe there will be some events in the meantime. But that's it for now. And I'll see you next time. And congrats to Jesus, your Tier 2 World Drivers Champion.